Manny, this has got to be one of the most good, funnest instruments I've ever played. Listen to this. Strange kind of ukulele. Actually,
Yeah.
it's not an ukulele. It's a rajao. 5 strings. Let's try something just for fun. We try vamp. Instrumental co-op. Once more. Oh, that's a lot of fun. Listen to this again. Isn't that good fun? Aloha. I'm Kimo Hussey, here with my good friend Manny Halican,
Aloha.
and it's our pleasure to share with you these wonderful, wonderful instruments. This is a rajao that is made by Manuel Nunes, who, by the way, was one of the 3 guys who first came to Hawaii in 1879 and brought with them some probably the rajao and what would become our beloved ukulele. Manny has an ukulele that was also made by Manuel Nunes, and it's kind of a soprano model. So let's talk about this instrument first, Manny. The interesting thing about this Portuguese instrument, by the way, despite the fact that this is a Portuguese instrument, it was made in Hawaii, and probably one of the first instruments of this type of rajao that was ever made, like in Hawaii. But anyway, it's got 5 strings, and probably because of that, a little bit wider fretboard, to accommodate that. And both of these instruments are 1895 vintage instruments, but they're wonderful, wonderful instruments. First of all, with regard to design of this instrument, the fretboard has this really looks like kind of a herringbone design kind of thing that goes on the fretboard all the way up to the headstock. On the headstock, you can see the extra tuner because it has 5 strings. And then on the bottom part here, there's this little thing. Manny, can you tell if this is inlaid?
It is inlay, yeah.
Ah.
And probably in the early days, this is all handmade inlay.
Right. And then as we begin to rotate the ukulele, you can see that there's this is called herringbone.
Rope binding.
Rope binding.
Yeah.
Okay. I would imagine that in 1895, in order to do this rope binding or even the inlay, that the process for doing that would be different from the kind of processes that you use nowadays in order to do the same thing.
Yeah, I believe the method really advanced to today, from back in the old days.
They started it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But these are all like hand carved.
Yeah, it's all handmade. I mean, Mike Chalk does it today, and he has a different process, I think.
Right.
But exactly how the old people did it, I'm not sure.
Right. Coming in the back is koa. Yeah, koa.
Cool.
And I notice that the back has kind of a radius.
Yeah, round back.
To
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was characteristic in those days. Does that one have a radius
This
or
also
flat?
has no.
Ah,
And the degree of the radius varies from uke to uke, ukulele to ukulele.
so it was
but-
probably a technique, yeah,
Yeah,
of the builder. Um, anyway, in terms of looks, this is it. The rosette here kind of also carries on the herringbone or whatever you call this
Yeah.
theme in the ukulele.
And the interesting thing about these early ukuleles is the fretboard is not a fretboard. The fretboard is a neck that they cut the frets into.
Oh.
There's no fretboard.
Oh, so this is the neck
Yeah, just the neck. It's
of
the
the
top
neck,
of the
and
neck.
then they cut the grooves and just put the frets right in there.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. I noticed as I was playing this that the action is very light and easy, but the tuning. This is this all by itself is kind of like a sixth chord. A sixth chord, and this would be kind of like an added ninth. So those of us who are strictly ukulele players, we got to figure out what we're going to do about this string.
It's beyond me.
Yeah, because the idea is to figure out how to make it help and not get in the way. Anyway, so this is a rajao brought to Hawaii again by Manuel Nunes. And this instrument is vintage 1895. So is yours. Tell us about that one. That looks like
This is
an
a
ukulele.
soprano size with the typical Portugal shape and design, I guess. A lot of the early ones has these little stretch out sopranos and more of a narrower type. It's actually a very nice design, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that
That
thinness
same
of the
thing.
headstock, yeah, it's really, really thin.
Oh, let's see. Oh yeah, this one is thin as well. Look at these side by side.
And the gigantic tuning pegs, the friction tuning pegs.
Oh. That makes it those friction tuning pegs. And I mean, once you get them set, they're okay. But boy, turning them sometimes is really difficult to do, especially on an older instrument, I would think.
Yeah, and then it has the same carvings, inlays.
Yeah, you can tell the
as
similarity
this.
in the same builder.
Also here,
Yeah,
no fretboard. The frets are cut into the neck.
yeah.
Then they run the same herringbone.
Cool. And that
Design
that
up
that
there.
one's core also, yeah.
Yeah,
So the
Full
back
core,
the
all
back
core.
the back looks
and it
looks
has a
pretty
rounded
similar.
back too.
Oh, cool. Can we hear just the strum? Oh, cool.
Regular.
Yeah. Play us a chord, just a chord. Boy, that thing sounds great.
Beautiful sound.
Well, you know what? What's really interesting and actually magnificent about that is that it's just a small little thing, but when you play it, there's this huge sound
Yeah.
that comes out of it.
Yeah.
Speaking of sound, let's play something
Shoot.
with these two instruments. I tell you what, we started with Kawamai. Let's try that. In C, right?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
see.
Shoots. Like good tempo. Good night. Good night. Oh. Good night. Play no ho. Aina ya buna, eloha ole. Oh, you know what? The action, the playability on this ukulele is wonderful. Nevertheless, I had the death grip on it because I was so nervous playing a rajao. I've never played a rajao before, so we want to change this instrument out, the rajao out for this ukulele. Remember, we're going from rajao to ukulele. This ukulele, it looks about the same size, yeah? Was made by Leonardo Nunes, who was the son of Manuel Nunes, who made these two. And this ukulele, just like that one, is okay. So anyway, we can see at least some influence of his father in the design of this. This one has a fretboard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And does that one have a fretboard?
No fretboard.
Ah, okay. Anyway, this center design thing on the fretboard is really nice. And you know, one thing I really appreciate about this ukulele, is vintage 1930s. But one of the things that I really appreciate is the design on the fretboard. This part here is lined up very well in these two strings. You know, it's not like it's kind of like that or kind of like that or you know, the thing's crooked, and that's amazing. 1930s vintage. So you can see influences of his dad. You know, there's a different string treatment here than it is there. Can you hold that up to this one? Now, as we look at the design, you see that the father carried this design all the way up to the headstock, and son Leonardo did something different on the headstock here. But as we rotate the ukuleles both at the same time, we see that there's this same kind of binding.
The rope binding.
Here, keep coming around, and you see again the koa influence. This back also is radiused, just like his dad's ukulele. And coming back around. One of the things is the difference in the tuners. I don't know if they had these style of tuners, you know, in the day when this one was made, but the huge difference in the use of tuners. The action on this uke is very nice. In fact, so is the sound. I mean, for a little instrument like this, it's
projection.
Just a wonderful projection, and it's just an incredibly interesting and wonderful ukulele to play. So, construction-wise, do you see any like noticeable differences in how that uke was built as opposed to this one? They look pretty much the same.
Pretty much similar. The bridge style of the pigs and the slip through obviously it has a difference, but the shape is pretty much the same. And then the headstock style, um, similar,
Yeah.
but I think this was hand carved maybe.
Yeah.
This is a simpler design, but the basics design is the same.
I think one of the
Shape.
things about both headstocks and both ukes is that to me, and I'm not very artsy or artistic, but this the body upper bout come to the waist, lower bout goes out. To me, is similar with the headstock in both.
Yeah.
It's up
Yeah.
and then come inside just like the waist, and then back out to the ukulele. Wonderful, wonderful.
The thickness of the body is has a quite a difference.
Oh, let's show that like this. You can see the differences in the thickness. Yeah,
Even the size, the body size is different.
yeah.
This a bigger ukulele.
So, how do you suppose in those days they bent the wood? Heat,
Same process, heat and water.
heat and water.
Yeah.
Wow. Speaking of process, let's play out. Let's play out. What song?
Le nani.
In C.
See.
Shoot. Manny, take the melody, Manny, Manny. Manny, I'll take the melody. Haina. Haina ho. Haina ia mai. Ana kapuana. O i mai no kaua. La e pili. Vamos ver. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Manuel Nunes, Leonardo Nunes, for doing what you did and helping us develop ukulele in Hawaii. We appreciate your work very much. Aloha.
Aloha.